ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs. You might be asking yourselves, why am I staring at a blank screen right now? That is because today's intro video requires such an introduction, such preparedness for the level of political retardation that you are about to see. Behold, Jasmine Crockett, running for office.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man.
She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day, she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Oh my goodness. For anybody listening in podcast format, you'd be sitting there saying, what the hell am I listening to? This is an ad for Crockett, for Senate, and all I heard was Donald John Trump commenting on what a low IQ idiot she is, and you wouldn't have seen the video that we just watched, which was nothing more than Jasmine Crockett thinking she's looking hot. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say other than batting her fake long eyelashes. How many times? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Oh, and then she turns dramatically, like it's the dramatic. What was that animal? The hedgehog. Remember that video that like they got the dramatic pose? I'm going to pull it up in a second. Then she stares at the camera. She's either wearing a Magen David or a snowflake earring. By the way, both are the same. I'll tell you why in a second. Then the way she crosses her, she's wearing she's got a nice pearl necklace. Then the way she defiantly folds her arms. Who the hell folds their arms like that? Like this is a straight up, like she's doing the Macarena and then continues looking at the camera and then smiles. Okay. Let's back this up for a little bit. You can't fix stupid, says lefty on the right. I made the joke that said, yeah, leave it to a low IQ person to think this is a good ad. They always say something in business. Don't advertise your competitor's product. There's a reason why when they say, it matches up against a leading brand. When, I don't know what a ketchup competitor is to Heinz. Damn it, I wish I knew one offhand. But when they say, when Coke and Pepsi might be the only exception to the rule where everybody knows that's the dichotomy in the soft drink world. But you don't do the advertising for your competitors, even if it's to explain why yours is better than theirs. Because when you use their name, when you use their product, even to say ours is better than Heinz 47, well, people remember the name of your competitor. I watched that ad, and the only thing that I remember is Donald Trump saying what an idiot, low IQ, dumbass Jasmine Crockett is. And the bottom line is, she is dumb. She's objectively dumb. And that ad is objective rubbish because the only thing lasting to me in that ad is what Trump said of a woman who thinks, I guess she's attractive if you're into that, if you're superficial. I don't, you get married. It's not that part of the brain shuts off because like Dr. Ruth said, the day you stop finding other women attractive, you have stopped finding your own wife attractive. If anybody doesn't remember that from the late 80s, early 90s. It seems that the only thing she's relying on is her physical appearance. Batting her fake eyelashes. I don't understand fake eyelashes. I don't understand extensions in hair. I don't understand Botox. I don't understand face work. You look like what you look like by and large. Control the things you can through exercise, eating healthy, etc. But adding things on. Fake eyelashes. But if you had any doubts as to what an idiot she is, I mean, she's an idiot. She is low IQ. She is dumb. There's nothing wrong with being dumb, just so long as you acknowledge that you're dumb. The problem with dumb people, like dead people and crazy people, they don't know that they are. Here is a gem of Jasmine Crockett. I'll explain to you why it's so damn dumb in the first place, but you have to have a sufficiently high IQ to understand why this is low IQ crap. And then we're just going to get to the punchline of all of this. They ain't appealing to high IQ voters, but let's just hear what PhD Jasmine Crockett has to say about what makes someone a criminal. This is not AI. I had to double check it.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons. I understand.
First of all, just so everybody knows, I'm not just picking on Jasmine. Is this guy here the retarded Russell Brand of the left? Like, yeah, because being a criminal is a lot more than just committing the crime. It's about the mental framework. Almost, it's like about the mens rea, Jasmine. You know, the intent to commit the act that is the crime. I just got to play it one more time. Look at this guy. It's either Kenny G or the lefties version of Russell Brand. Nowhere near as good looking as Russell Brand. Sorry, I only say that because Russell Brand looks like me, but only a foot taller.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
Pause. Cue in Kenny G, the lefties retarded version of Russell Brand.
That
I mean, maybe I'm being mean, and maybe this guy is actually, someone saying, I can't believe I'm listening to this crap. Just because you committed the crime doesn't make you a criminal.
that is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
So there's actually, it's just the thing in law called the two elements of criminal law. And say it's criminal law, not statutory law, not certain administrative law where you have these rules of absolute responsibility. It doesn't matter if you didn't know the act was criminal. If you do it, it's objectively, statutorily a crime. One of the principles of criminal law on its face is to be convicted of a crime, you have to have committed the actus reus, which is the act that is the unlawful act, and the mens rea, which is not the intent to have broken the law, because not knowing the law is not an excuse to break it, the intent to have committed the act that was the unlawful act, whether or not you knew it was unlawful. Oh, you didn't know that taking someone else's child was unlawful? Well, if you had the intention of taking the person's child, not of breaking the law, you have the actus reus of breaking the law. If you are a criminal, presumably it's because you were found guilty of having committed the crime. Therefore, you were found guilty of the act itself, which is unlawful, and the intent to commit the act, which is unlawful. But no, to Jasmine Crockett, you see, being a criminal, it's a state of mind. I mean, you can break the law for good reasons. You say out of necessity. By the way, necessity is a defense. Compulsion is a defense. Someone has a gun to your back and says, drive at 150 miles an hour. You'll have a defense to reckless driving. Someone has a gun to your back and says, go in there and steal that diamond off that counter. You've got a defense called compulsion because you're not doing it of your own free will. You are not committing the actus reus voluntarily. Low IQ is right. And maybe at the end of the day, this is going to get more airtime because of the people making fun of it, and it's going to reach more of those low IQ voters that Jasmine Crockett is trying to appeal to. But this is the caliber of politician that we live with today. And it's not unique to America. We have plenty of dummies up in Canada, plenty of them. But it's the phenomenon of idiocracy in real time. We are living through idiocracy. We are living through the Greek paradigm of if you don't get involved in politics, you will end up being governed by your inferiors, because by and large, we are. The degree to which we are governed by our inferiors, let's just end it with this real quick, they end up ascending to positions of power. So you don't just get the Jasmine Crockett's at the Senate level. You don't just get the Joe Bidens at the presidential level. You know what you end up getting? You end up getting the Ketanji Browns at the Supreme Court level. And it's absolutely astonishing when you get dumb people getting into politics, dumb people rising in the ranks of politics, and those dumb people get to elect other dumb people to be the most prestigious jurists of our time. Listen to Jasmine Crockett talking about, these are oral arguments yesterday, in respect of who the president should be able to fire at will, I'm fairly certain. Coming from Amuse, who says, SCOTUS, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson told the court that presidents should not be able to fire the PhDs and experts who run the government. She even argued presidents should avoid control over transportation and the economy. In a remarkable exchange, in Trump versus Slaughter, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson claimed the president should have no power to fire expert bureaucrats. She said economists, PhDs, scientists, transportation officials, yada, 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 should operate beyond presidential reach. Such a view would carve the heart out of the Article 2 and cement rule of permanent insiders, an administrative state. A parliamentary government. That's what American lefties want. Rather than leadership, Jackson's theory elevates the deep state over the voters who choose a president. That is a constitutional revolution in plain sight. Just listen to the abject stupidity of a jurist at the highest court of the land and arguably the highest court in the world, who's there for another quarter century, if not more. Listen to this.
Some issues, some matter.
Oh, and by the way, listen to the vocal fry. I made the joke on Twitter. It's vocal fry that can cook a Christmas ham.
Some issues, some matters, some areas should be handled in this way by nonpartisan experts.
Nonpartisan experts. If you think a nonpartisan expert exists, Ketanji, you are dumber than you look, than you sound. Nonpartisan experts. Who might those be? Albert Bourla. Tony Fauci, nonpartisan.
That Congress is saying that expertise matters with respect to aspects of the economy and transportation and the various independent agencies that we have.
Expertise matters. So you should defer to those experts, and they can come in and slaughter your ostriches when they've adjudicated those ostriches a health risk, despite all evidence to the contrary. Experts who can then mandate toxic jabs that have only gotten approval because of the politics of money.
So having a president come in and fire all the scientists and the doctors and the economists and the PhDs and replacing them with loyalists and people who don't know anything is actually not in the best interest of the citizens of the United States. These issues should not be in presidential control.
Whose control should they be in, Jasmine? I'm sorry, Ketanji.
So can you speak to me about the danger of allowing in these various areas the president to actually control the Transportation Board and potentially the Federal Reserve and all these other independent agencies? In these particular areas, we would like to have independence. We don't want the president controlling. I guess what I don't understand from your overarching argument is why that determination of Congress, which makes perfect sense given its duty to protect the people of the United States.
Duty. To protect the citizen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because these experts who are independent, it's not like they were appointed by somebody. It's not like they have financial interests before, during, and after. It's not like they make decisions based on potential financial interests afterwards. It's not like they create their own financial interests. Perverse incentives. It's not like any of that. No, they are the benevolent dictator. I mean, what's amazing is they are independent from the will of the people and from the will of the president. Why do you even have a president?
Why that is subjugated to a concern about the president not being able to control everything. I mean, I appreciate
the president not being able to control what he was elected to control. Why even have an executive branch anymore? You want a parliamentary system. You want Chevron on crack, cocaine, and steroids. And you want the president to be stripped of any power whatsoever, to be a useless figurehead, to be governed by the administrative state, by the deep state.
There's a conflict between the two, but one would think under our constitutional design, given the history of the monarchy and the concerns that the framers had about a president controlling everything, that in the clash between those two, Congress's view that we should be able to have independence with respect to certain issues should take precedence.
What you just said is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent question, more of a statement, did you come anything near anything that could be resembled a rational thought? Yada, yada, yada. You know the meme. The concern, the faux concern. Well, given our history with the monarchy, why would we give all this power to the president? That's why you have elections. Unlike in the monarchy where you have the king that's appointed for life. That's why you have elections for no more than 4 years and no more than 2 terms. So that if you don't like what the president is doing, you can vote his ass out of office and bring in someone else that you want. Not so that you can have a permanent state behind that president, neutering that president. But this is what happens. You get dumb politicians, dumb and corrupt politicians who ascend the ranks, who appoint their dumb appointees, who then make the most important decisions for 360 million people. Ladies and gentlemen, idiocracy playing out in real time. But at least Jasmine Crockett put on blast the criticism against her. Low IQ, dumb, and she opens her mouth and proves it every day. Booyah, people!